Hopefully we're live with Mathew and the string. Welcome to SimPlay Motorsport, and we're here at a very sunny Red Bull Ring. I thought it'd be funny there. And I'm joined in the comms box by Joe Bates. Joe, welcome back.
Good evening everyone.
How are we today, Joe?
Not too bad, my friend. How are you?
Yeah, I'm about. Yeah, and as we've got a very moist Red Bull Ring now, the session started off dry, so it's just not wetter, so no one's going to improve times. Oh, Gary's made it into the session as well.
Now this is, well, second race of the season.
Yeah.
Well, let's just say this is a bit of a curveball from last week.
Yeah, who would have thought Snetterton was dry, even though rain was around?
Well, typical UK fashion. It's never, well, it's usually never dry, but for a change it was last week.
Yeah, speaking of UK tracks, we're at Brands Hatch next week, so type might revert back to normal. So I believe you can read the championship standings a bit better than I can, because you know you're still young and I'm not. I've got
My eyesight is about 60 years old, so I'll do my best. But so yeah, coming into rounds 3 and 4 of the season at Red Bull Ring, Dan Davis leads the championship on 114 points, ahead of Jay Clouden in the McLaren 720S Evo on 91. So there's a 23-point difference between first and second already coming into round 3 and 4. That's a bit of a huge gap already, if you ask me. Dan's showing his pace early on in the season.
But we're not at a British track now.
You got Alex Powell in P3, who is independent in the Aston Martin V8 on 82. You got M Harris for Team FBR in the M4 on 82 as well. So P3 and 4 are matched on points and coming into rounds 3 and 4. You have RB Racing for Team FBR as well. So the Team FBR boys had a good first 2 rounds of the season. They are, sorry, zoomed out. He is on 63 points, 51 behind Dan Davis in first. You've then got Mr. Mathew Duffin for Jaeger Motorsport in the M4 on 63 as well. So that's 4 people. Well, 4 people, 2 different points, but they're all matched. So you got M Harris and Alex Powell, both on 82, and you got RB Racing and Mathew Duffin on 63. Then coming in at P7, you have Overtaker. He is on 52. You got Machado, who from FSO Racing Team in the Honda on 50. Got Dennis Newman for Effect Motorsport on 47. Gary Leach from Jaeger Motorsport on 43. O'Reilly in Ford Mustang on 43 as well. Mike Matthews for SimPlay Racing on 41. Sky Schundelmeyer is on 39. You got Hoffer in the M6 on 38.
That's Dave.
You got Dave in the 992 on 36. You got Jim for FBR Junior Race Team. Nice to see him pretty far up there. He's on 34 so far, coming into rounds 3 and 4. You have Clavel, who is on 33. You also have Pacina in the Mustang, who's on 33. You've got Gray for GK Racing on 26. Gary Burton on 21. And then you got Saba, who's also on 21. Nikita on 20. Flemspeed 1 on 20. And you got Ireland coming in with 18.
Yeah, and then you got the non-scores of M Simon, M Fuchs, Raimi Fernie, and D Sullivan all on 0 points.
Who are all on 0 yet.
And because the first race is the first one of the reverse grid, so M Simon's on pole, but he's not here. So taking up that pole position now will be Nikita. There, and alongside him will be Burton, then Gray, Pacina. This may mess the grid up a bit with a missing car. Hoffer in P8, Mike Matthews will be starting P9. O'Reilly in P10. Gary Leach P11. Dennis Newman P12. Macchiato, which is insert coin, which he had loads of support last week. Shame if they're not here this week. Supported him in chat. He lines up P13. Mathew Duffin starts from P14. RB Racing starts in P15. M Harris 16. Alex 17. Clouden 18. And I'm not going to read what Matt put there for Dan Davis. Starts from the back in P19. Because I know Dan won't like
I've only just realised that.
And leading the teams is SimPlay Racing from Team FBR, from the Greasy Bandits Racing Pro Team, because they also got a team in Pro-Am with Hypertech and I've forgotten. Jaeger Motorsport is in P4, Effect Motorsport is in P5, Quantum Apex Motorsport P6, FSO Racing is in P7, P8 is GK Racing, P9 is BSP Racing, the FBR Junior team is in P10, and P11 is Smoky Racing. And we're not going to worry about manufacturers because McLaren are way in front already.
I mean, why not just give it to the people, just so that way they just know a little bit about it.
Leading the way is McLaren. They've got 625 points. We've got BMW in second, Porsche in third, Lamborghini in fourth, Ford in fifth, Aston Martin sixth, Ferrari seventh, Honda in eighth, and Mercedes in ninth. No Bentley yet, no Lexus or anyone like, no Nissan, however, no Retia. Car heroes in the Retia.
It's all mainly the new cars that have been chosen this time. It's quite nice to see.
Well, it's also quite nice to see like Hoffa in the M6 because no one would use the M6 now with the M4 though.
Yeah, you gotta be crazy, or you really love the M6 to go for that over the M4.
I'll tell you what, you can see a dry line forming around there. You can see that.
You can see it. It's not a big one, but you can see it.
You can see it on a lot of camera angles as practice has come to an end, and as we go into reverse grid for race 1, which is going to be interesting because we don't know weather yet. So Clouden was fastest in practice, but that was set when it was drier. From Dennis Newman, then Ian Gray, then Harris, Dan Davis, Piscina, Duffin, O'Reilly, Beasley, Alex Powell, Mike Matthews, Coin, which is Macchiato, or Hoffa, Burton, Nikita, Leach, Jim, and ignore them 2 commentators. Which are whatever bomb.
Don't pay attention to the 2 down the bottom that still say that they're in the pits. Actually, wait, it doesn't even say we're in the pits.
Well, it just calls us spectator. It's GT Diz, winner of race 2 last night in Pro-Am. It says, evening gents, hope you're all well. We're well, kind of, aren't we, Joe?
Yeah, not too bad. Hope you're having a good evening, GT. And I hope you're ready for a good night's racing, because this is going to be interesting in the work.
A lot less cars than Pro-Am last night. Pro-Am had 22, 23 last night. As they now line up on the grid. Is anybody in the wrong place? I don't think they are. I think everyone's in the right place. This camera angle's so far out though. It's like nearly at turn 1. Hello cars down there under the Red Bull sign. As we are at the at Red Bull Ring, formerly the Ostrog Ring and the A1 Ring. It used to be a lot longer and a lot faster, this circuit. But
isn't this also Red Bull's test track, if I remember correctly?
Yeah, Red Bull own it, so they test around here. They have a hangar nearby that has all the old F1 cars in there. But yeah, that's Red Bull though.
Never knew that.
That's Red Bull. Other energy drinks are available. I don't recommend drinking a lot of them all the time though.
30 seconds.
I drink 2 a day.
Yeah, that's probably too many, Joe. As they now should,
20 seconds.
but as they should now put their final prep in, it's looking like it's going to be a dry race one. So they're lucky there.
10 seconds.
I mean, if you look at the track condition, PN, it only says it's fast. It's not optimum like it normally is.
It might not get to optimum. We don't have a lot of cars out there. Oh, O'Reilly's missed the start. He's starting on the pit lane. It's probably a good thing sometimes, because
Well, with the 90-degree turn 1, I would say that's not the worst thing to happen.
yeah, O'Reilly's missed the start. He's missed a hit drive, or he's trying to hit it and the game's glitched and it won't let him hit it. That does happen too. I've had it a few times in practice races. So yeah, it'll be Nikita leading away from
Gary Burton.
From Gary Burton. Cool, McLaren
Then you got in top 3 for McLaren. That's gonna be. I wonder if McLaren are gonna do what Napa done to Jake Hill in race 3 at Thruxton.
What? Put him off the road.
Jake Hill got an absolute belter of a start and went to go up the inside, but Napa just boxed him in and went 3 wide into turn 1, and he just couldn't get through.
It'll be interesting to see how quick that Mustang gets off the line when in 4th. So that's a shame for O'Reilly missing the start, but he'll probably be in the best place. He might avoid the turn 1 or turn 2 chaos.
Now I'm curious about this because I mean I haven't really even tried driving the Mustang or any cars for that matter, so I don't know. But I want to know if the Mustang in this game is supercharged or turboed.
Be whatever it's been homologated. I believe it's turbocharged. That'd be one to ask.
Because out of the factory they come supercharged, so
that'd be one to find out. It could be naturally aspirated. They could have got rid of it for better power delivery. But that will be one to ask Google. And there's Fat Bloke in chat.
If it was me,
cheering
I'd
on.
keep the supercharger on it.
It depends what's allowed in GT3 racing and the rules, wouldn't it?
Yeah, but I think they allow turbos, don't they? If I remember correctly. Because of the 720S. Twin turbo V8.
Right. This is a very short lap, so we're nearly at the final corner. One thing we have to be keeping an eye on is pit lane entry. Because if they cross the right line in the wrong place, that's a no-no. But again, we can't keep an eye on everyone.
No.
Unfortunately.
But they're all stacking up now. They're all going 2 by 2.
They should be 2 by 2, yeah. But is Nikita on a row on his own because of the non-starter?
No, it looks like Gary Burton is alongside Nikita because I think sometimes the game does fix it if people aren't there. It tells them to move forward, so it's all still 2 by 2. But they're coming out of the final corner now.
And your granddad's talking cricket in chat.
Of course he is. But it is lights out. Well, no, it's not.
Don't say the away we go, because Crofty's an awful commentator compared with Murray. I don't like David Croft as a commentator. But
they're all coming to the first turn now. Nikita's on that outside line, and you've got the Mustang coming up on the inside. Did he make the move stick? I don't know.
I don't know. I can't tell.
Aren't the best.
No, he hasn't. He's lost out to Newman and Gray. So, but he's got the ponies up the hill as he comes stampeding towards the tighter second corner. As Gray goes,
Gray's just gone straight on.
That should give De Hoffner room to get past, or is it Dennis Newman? It's
given Gary is up into.
Yeah, Gary's flash. It looked like Gary's flashing his lights to go down the inside of Dennis. GT Jimbo looked like he nearly clipped the rear end.
Dan hasn't got the best of starts here.
As I believe Alex was he's alongside Clouden now, going towards there.
Clouden's got that inside line. He's gonna be able to hold on to this position for the time being.
Reasonably clean start though, for pros.
I'm surprised no one got hit in turn 1 because it looked very close.
Mike was on doing a bit of rallycross.
He's just taking a different line to everyone else.
Well,
but
yes.
yeah, as they come round to finish the first lap, you've got Nikita leading away from Gary Burton. Then you've got Pacina in P3 in that Mustang, so that's holding up pretty well. Then you've got Hoffer in the M6. Is that the M6 in 4th?
It is the M6 in 4th. Oh, what a guy Hoffer is. He's our hero in the M6.
You got Gary sliding it through turn 1 in that Porsche. Good lord.
He
was absolutely sideways.
Dennis and Insert Coin are side by side. Gary side by side with Insert Coin as they head towards the hairpin.
They are not making this free wide. No, Dennis Newman backs
out. Gary gives Coin some room to turn in. Great racing so far for the pros.
The top 3 aren't really like pulling away or catching each other. It's just kind of staying in the same gap.
It is. The battles of mid. We've got Burton. Is Burton in front of Nikita? No, Nikita's still leading.
You got Michael Harris on the back of Jim, so that's for FBR Junior. Oh, he absolutely sends it. Michael Harris up the inside. What a move!
In the golf-coloured BMW.
That was.
Gary's
I wasn't expecting him to send that.
But can he catch Hoffer? As the pit window is now open, is there any early callers?
Insert Coin's not dropping. Gary's not dropping insert coin. You got Hoffer in the pits already. Oh, he did cross the white line. I did see that.
Yeah, unfortunately I didn't.
Yeah, I did see him cut that pit line a little bit.
Right, so yeah, that'll have to be looked at. You
got Mathew Pacina in the Ford Mustang has just set the fastest lap of the race.
As he's on the back of Burton, and then he said his PSN name. It takes a while to get that out of your system.
That Mustang must have a very good straight line speed, but not the best in the corners.
Cool. What would be like at Paul Ricard later in the season?
Oh my god.
That thing's describable.
That straight is just...
As Cloudon's also in the pits.
You've got Dennis Newman going up the inside... No, around the outside of...
Is that Duffin going around?
Matt's just gone around the outside of Dennis Newman. What a move. But Matt has got damage to the front end of his BMW.
As does Dennis.
And so does Beasley. GT Jimbo has got the cleanest car on the track so far. Alex Powell has a bit of damage to the front left fender of his car, but you've got Dan Davis behind him, so where has that move been done? Because Alex Powell was about 5/10 behind Dan last lap. And he is now right on the back of GT Jimbo, and he's looking into the second to last corner. He's looking up the inside of GT Jimbo. Is he going to get it stuck? No, he backs out of it.
Yep.
Dan's coming into the pits. Dan's got pretty major damage to the front and side of that car.
Does he repair it? And there's Hoffer for first of our pit visitors. As Burton's within a second of Nikita again.
Nikita's about a three-way battle forming here between Dennis Newman, Mathew Duffin and Richard Beasley. They're all coming up into the hairpin, and then you've got Alex Powell back to the rear wing of GT Jimbo coming into the hairpin. He's looking around the outside. Is he going to try and get the cut back out of the hairpin? He does. Ooh, he almost hits the rear end of GT Jimbo because the Ferrari lit up his rear tyres and almost lost control.
What car would you choose around here, Joe? As we say, evening to your mum.
I would stick with Old Faithful and go M4. Just because I know how to drive it the best out of any car. I've driven, it would have to be the M4.
I'll go back to the Bentley. Because, you know, it's a tank. At the end of the day.
Bentley is pretty big. But Alex Power's not letting off a GT Jimbo here at all.
Meanwhile, battle for second. Who blinks first to pit? None of the top three
Nikita's
pit.
gone back and taken the fastest lap of the race from Pacina. So if I was...
As Cloudon did, and that's Cloudon because he's getting blue flags. He's got to move over and let him through because he's already pitted.
I wonder if he's had damage, because he seems to be very far back from everyone else.
He does. That'd be very interesting to see later in the race, wouldn't it?
Alex Power's right on the rear wing of GT Jimbo still. He just can't seem to find a way through. You got Richard Beasley on the grass.
He's still on the grass.
Trying to go around the outside of Dennis Newman.
He's still on the grass.
I wonder if that grass is still wet from free practice.
I would think it probably is.
It looks like Dennis Newman also does have rear damage to that BMW, but he's giving Matt a flash. He's like, I'm coming, mate. Be ready. He's gonna send up the inside.
Look at Alex.
Ooh,
Alex
Powell's coming up the inside of GT Jimbo. GT Jimbo gives him the space, and Alex. Oh! What happened there? You've got Matt, Richard Beasley, and Dennis Newman are all come together there. I don't know what happened.
Was Matt off the road?
All Newman can't go in.
No, Dennis is around as well.
Going. They were all round. I seen all three of them together. They were all basically stopped. I don't know what happened there, but you got Mike Matthews coming up the inside, and now around the outside of Richard Beasley coming into the last two corners.
Like Matt's pulling over to come in the pit. He's pulled over to be on the right side.
Coming into the pit. Yeah, he is. That is a good call from Matt, to be honest. I'm not sure what kind of damage he has to that car, but if I know Matt, he will not be a happy bunny right now.
Pacina's now in the pits. Now, the undercut does work here. It worked him.
I mean, that Mustang seems to have very good pace, so I feel if Pacina has a good pit stop and doesn't change tyres, nothing, just 25-second mandatory pit stop, in and out, clear air, get your foot to the floor, get a good outlap, and he should bring the gap down to Nikita and Gary Burton.
He may even jump him because he was right on the back of
You got Michael Harris coming up the inside of Gary, coming into the downhill turn. You got Insert Coin right on the back of them. Are they going to give each other enough room? Looks like Michael Harris is still up the inside, coming into the left-hander. It's going to be on the outside. Is he going to keep it there? These camera angles are so deceiving. You got Gary defending the inside
still side by side.
This is great racing from Michael Harris and Gary Leach. They're still side by side. They're giving each other the racing room. You've got Insert Coin is now.
Matt's been caught speeding.
Oh, he is not going to be happy. He is not going to be happy at all.
Right, no, none of them look like they were pitting then. No, they're all battling still. Burton's covered.
You got Kieran O'Reilly. Looks like he's coming into the pits. Yeah, Kieran O'Reilly is coming into the pits in that Ford Mustang. I must say that is a nice looking Mustang.
That's a very nice livery, isn't it? Don't count out Harris for the win. Oh, we're not. We don't count out Harris, but see what he can do in the pit stop. In a 20-minute race, I wouldn't bother changing tyres. I'll be honest.
I wouldn't.
Not for 20 minutes. The hour, yes, because you could like pit it halfway through and have fresh rubber. Or pit at the end of the window.
Well, Gary Leach, Michael Harris, and Insert Coin have all put a lap on Ian Gray in that McLaren. Ian Gray is down in 17th at the moment. He's not had the best race one so far. But
Burton is away. Where is Pacina? Pacina's now at the start-finish line.
We're at the halfway mark.
Burton is now off the limiter, but he's got to do that tight 90 with a barrier on the outside, which you do not want to collapse.
Did he just? Oh, he hit the pit wall. He spun himself round. He hit the edge of the pit wall. He spun round.
Oh, be careful there. But yeah, Pacina's jumped him.
He gave it the beans too soon coming out of that corner. You got Dan Davis now right on the back of Gary Burton. This is going to be interesting.
It will be.
He pulls out. He's having a look coming into the hairpin. If I know Dan, he's going to get this move done because he's going to Jason Plato that inside line. There you go. And look at that. Dan Davis coming up the inside of Gary Burton into the hairpin.
Dan
what a move.
Right, Nikita's now boxed. Harris is boxed. Coin's boxed. Just leaves Leach out there in the race lead.
3 out of the top 4 have pitted, but you've got Gary Leach leading the way from what looks to be GT Jimbo. Alex Powell, then GT Jimbo, then Dennis Newman, who's coming into the pits as well. That is a wounded BMW.
But that Vulcan horse livery, you could definitely see it. As we say, hi to Peaceful Stepdad as well, who's also in chat. So chat's waking up now. Good to see you all.
Good evening.
Remember to like and subscribe to SimPlay Motorsport.
You got Nikita away from Michael Harris. Michael Harris has now been dropped, but Nikita is currently going around the right-hand bend in the pit lane, and he is away. He's off the pit limiter now. But what's going to be the gap from him to Michael Harris?
He's well in front of Pacina, because Pacina is now coming up that straight to turn 2. That ain't really a turn. Before the real turn 2. I
feel like a dark horse in this race is Dan, but he's only got 8 minutes to get it done, and he's still got a wounded Lamborghini. He didn't repair his damage at all. He's right on the back of Insert Coin. He's got Gary Burton on his rear end as well. Gary Burton hasn't left Dan yet, or let Dan get away from him.
There's Harris in front of him.
Dan looking on the inside line coming. Oh no, he's in the slipstream. He's pulling out. He's having a look.
We'll follow this battle.
Does he go late on the brakes?
Oh,
Dan Davis up the inside, and you know what he'll say? He'll say, "Thank you, Mama, for the carrots." There you go.
I don't think he will. Clarble, he's not here this week. Cloudon's got raced fastest lap so far, so he's not pacing that McLaren.
But I just think he's too far back to do any real damage to any of the championship standings at the moment.
And apparently drop scores are in until round 10. Well, the 10th race meeting. I don't understand drop scores, so we'll leave that for Matt.
Neither do I. I do not understand drop scores. I know something about the worst 2 rounds I think you have, or like your 2 worst score points rates.
Well, it don't really matter with me because I'm
you got
doing
GT Jimbo in the pits in P3. He's just been dropped. You got Nikita coming up to the hairpin. I think he's already passed him. It's just not been updated yet. There you go.
There we go. There's Pacino in the background.
Who's also passed him. You got GT Jimbo coming out of the pits now. We've got De Hoffner and Dan going past him right now. So that's another position for those 2.
Was that Dan or was that Mike? I think that's Mike as well. Got in front of him.
It was Mike. I just seen a white Lamborghini. It's hard to tell because those 2 have picked a livery where it's all white and very little.
Apparently, Clarble has just said in chat he's broken his elbow, so he's got to be out for a while. Yeah, I know the pain. Alex is in the pit, so Gary's going to do another lap as race leader. This isn't BTCC. You don't score a point for a lap if you lead a lap, like you do in BTCC.
I think if I know Gary, he's going to go right until the end and then come into the pits because he wants to try and get that gap as big as he can.
Yeah, we'll call that Porsche.
And try and bring back as much time as possible.
That Porsche sounds glorious around here through the Styrian mountains echoing around in the valleys.
It does look very, very twitchy though. But then again, it is Gary, so he's probably running like next to no traction control.
Well, it's Gary in general. Gary likes a twitchy Porsche.
He just likes a twitchy car.
Alex
Power's been dropped and he's away. He's been passed by Nikita.
And that's Beasley coming up.
Pacina, Harris, Dan, Insert Coin, Gary Burton.
Beasley.
He's number 17, Richard Beasley. Oh, okay, he's just coming out of the corner. On the track map, it's very deceiving. He looked really slow.
Yeah, as Gary doesn't pit, he's not time to do this lap. He really has. But he has to pit this lap. Who would have thought? It's not a British track. Gary normally goes really well at British tracks.
It's like Dan, isn't it?
It's like Dan. But we're in Austria.
Well, I think if I remember correctly, Gary's not a big fan of like the European tracks unless it's all British tracks.
No, he isn't. He doesn't like Spa. How can you not like Spa? I mean, no.
Spa's not as easy as you think.
Yeah, but it's such a great circuit.
But as it stands at the moment, you've got Gary Leach leading away from Nikita, from Pacina, who is 5 seconds off the rear. Then you've got Michael Harris, who has had a pretty stellar race so far, if you ask me. But he is slowly catching on to the back of Pacina. From the championship leader in P5, Dan Davis. And you've got Insert Coin, who's just under a second from him.
Burton
Gary
on the
Burton,
back.
who's hassling the back of insert coin, yep. Coming into turn 1. I'll tell you one thing though, that McLaren does seem planted around there and it's in its favour.
I tell you what, Gary's nearly half a lap in front of Nikita. This is going to be close when they pit for
Is Gary coming into the pit? Yeah, Gary's coming into the pits. He's on that inside line. He's coming in.
Yeah.
I think I just seen him cut the
That
pit.
that one don't matter. Once he's in the pit lane, it was
No,
you know
not
when
that
you.
bit. The
Well, I don't see any of them, so
I don't know.
unfortunately.
The camera angles are so deceiving. It's hard to tell.
We're watching the battle between Insert Coin and Burton here, while I'm on Davis for some reason. While I'll be watching this, is one of the closest battles. You also got Mike Matthews on the back of Hoffner. And Jim on the back of Clouden.
GT Jimbo over the back of Clouden, but I think Clouden's just passed him for position coming up into the hairpin.
Clouden, fastest man on the circuit.
McLaren looks a good car around here, but you got Nikita coming into the last corner. Gary hasn't been dropped yet.
No, he hasn't. He's not changing tyres. Please tell me he's not changing tyres.
Gary's just been dropped. He had a 37-second lead, Gary, over Nikita.
Harris is hunting down Pacino. That is getting closer.
That was 3.3 last lap, is now 2.3 as he comes through into the first corner, so I don't think he's going to do it. I think he'll get onto the back of him,
Harris
unless
has got
Pacino has a bit of a mistake.
Dan's up to 5th. Gary's only now just come out the pits.
Got Insert Coin and Gary Burton going side by side, coming up into the hairpin.
Burton's on the outside. Who's the latest on the brakes? I believe
Gary Burton.
Was there sparks flying then on your screen? Between them?
I'm not too sure. I've seen something.
I saw something fly off the cars. But Burton,
I'll tell you one thing. Gary Leach is gonna push this car right until the end now. He's got just under 2 minutes, which I believe is just over 2 laps.
Where's
or
Nikita?
2 more laps.
Nikita is now gone through turn... I can't count.
Neither can I, Vas.
He's coming to the penultimate corner now, so this will be the last lap. Because they're doing roughly 1 minute 28s, 29s, 30s.
Right, okay.
So,
yeah, I haven't got the times on my side, so I'm not too sure what lap times they are doing.
It's
We've got Alex Powell on the back of Richard Beasley.
Okay, the leader is on the
P8
final lap now.
and
Give it all
P9.
you can.
Yeah,
They both are driving around wounded cars. Well, if I must say so, I think Richard Beasley's Ferrari is slightly more damaged than Alex Powell's.
Yeah.
But as they all come through now to start the final lap of the race, you got Nikita leading the way, 4.2 seconds over Pacino. That's not a bad gap.
I believe that will be his first win here at SimPlay for Nikita if he wins this.
Oh. You've got Gary on the back of Insert Coin coming up into the hairpin. He's looking on the inside line through coming up. Oh. He's going to go late on the brakes. He's going to give in, but he's going to run wide. Oh, and there's just a bit of contact. But Robin's racing, boys.
But Gary was far enough. Gary was far enough alongside there, so that was on.
Insert Coin flashing him, saying, "Listen, man, that's not on." But he did have enough of. He did have more than, well, the front end pass of rear arch. Yeah. So
as we go back
Alex
to
Powell right on the back of Richard Beasley, but I think Richard Beasley's just going to hang on to it.
That won't put up Gary. Gary watches touring cars, so as I go to the Nikita, as he's now going to round the final two corners to take his. I think it is his first win here at SimPlay Motorsport.
Come on, Nikita, give us a flash coming out of the last corner.
If you listen,
Nikita comes out of the last corner for GK Racing. He comes across the line and he takes his first win, we believe, from at SimPlay Motorsport. Then you got Pacino for P2, Michael Harris for P3. Dan Davis, the championship leader, coming across P4. Gary Burton P5. Gary Leach flashes lights P6. Insert Coin P7. Richard Beasley P8. Alex Powell P9. De Hoffner on that M6. I'll tell you what, he didn't do too bad. He's coming across the line in P10. Then you got Mike Matthews right in the back of him for P11. And then Kieran O'Reilly for P12. Jay Clouden P13 with the fastest lap of the race. GT Jimbo P14. For the FBR Junior Racing team, then you got Dennis Newman rounding the final couple of corners.
Yeah, Oh,
to take P15.
Gray ran out of fuel. He's just said in chat. Whoops.
I suppose that's one way to do it.
Dennis has stopped before the line. That's not the line, Dennis.
He's not run out of fuel as well.
Yeah,
Has
has Dennis run out of fuel? He needs a push.
But it's weird because it's jolting forward.
It's jolting forward, yeah. And Duffin is still was about 28 seconds behind, which is the time of his stop go.
It looks like Matt is really struggling with that BMW, or he's just nursing it at home.
Or are they out of fuel? Because Newman's not moving. I know that fuel, and now he moves after Matt. I don't get that. And Gray ran out of fuel, so yeah, I will bring up the results for race 1, and it should be easy to see because there's only 16 cars, 17 cars. So I said I can't count. So we had Nikita with his first win, from Pacina, from Harris, Davis, Burton. Not bad result for Burton considering these complications at the moment. Leach in 6th, as the screen just changed. Thank you, Game. That's very helpful. Insert Coin 7th, Beasley 8th, Alex Power in 9th, Hoffer in 10th, not a bad result in the M6, Mike Matthews P11, Kieran O'Reilly 12th, considering he started on pit lane, P13 for Clouden, 14 for Jim, 15 for Duffin, 16 for Newman, and 17 for Gray. We're about to go for a short break, and we will be back
grab a drink, grab some popcorn, and come enjoy race 2 because it's an hour-long race, ladies and gentlemen, and it is going to be an interesting one at that if the rain comes into play.
And yeah, it might rain. We've also got a 15-minute qualifying beforehand, so to set the grid for it.
But if the rain comes in, it's going to throw a whole different curveball into the mix. So make sure you guys grab your popcorn, take a toilet break, grab your drinks, come back and enjoy the rest of the show.
And it's raining in the practice too. So yeah, we'll be back briefly.
It's supposed to get worse in the next half an hour as well.
Yeah.
I think by the end of this, it's going to be flooded.
No, that was that Ricardo series season. I can't remember what season it was.
Are we off air?
I have no idea.
I don't know, my phone died, I can't see.
We must be off air.
Don't think we are.
Anyway, we thought we were going for a break. Either way, I need to go to have a break if we are still on air. I will put Gary on because he's the only car going on track. So
Gary doing Gary things and
yeah, we're still live. We just noticed that bloke. Here you go, Joe. Talk them around while I go and do something very important.
So you got Gary coming up into the last turn. Last turn, hairpin. In a very, very wet track at the moment, completely different to what you guys just witnessed in race 1. But he's coming down through first sector, coming into the tightish right-hander. If you get it right, you can probably get a 1:28 around here, if I am standing correctly. But in the wet, I'm not too sure. I haven't seen a lot of people do the test runs and everything in the wet. I haven't been around. But one thing, oh, that's a line, Gary.
back to SimPlay Motorsport for a now very wet qualifying. As you can see on screen, and the first car out is going to be Dennis Newman. And here are the current championship order. Dan Davis still leads the way with 155 points from M. Harris in second with 127. Cloudon's dropped down to P3. Alex has moved up to P4. RB Racing is in P5. P6 is M. Pacina. Insert Coin is in P7. Mathew Duffin P8. P9 is Gary Leach. Nikita's win jumps him up to P10. Dennis Newman P11. O'Reilly P12. Mike Matthews in P13. Hoffer in P14. Burton in P15. Overtakers now P16. GT Jimbo aka Jim is now P17. P18 is Ian Gray. P19 is Sky Schundelmeyer, who's not here this week, unfortunately. P20 is Dave, I can't say his surname. P21 is Gary Klarbel. P22 is Toff Saber. Then 23rd is Flem Speed 1. P24 is Jason Ireland. And the others haven't scored points yet. So Team FBR now lead the Teams Championship by 1 point from SimPlay Racing. Then Jaeger Motorsport is in P3. Greasy Bandits is in P4. Effect Motorsport P5. P6 is GK Racing. P7 is Quantum Apex Motorsport. FSO is P8. P9 is FBR Junior. P10 is BSB. And P11, still get off the mark, is Smoky Racing. And McLaren are now even further in the manufacturers. Lamborghini have moved up to P3. BMW to P2. Ford to P4. Porsche P5. P6 is Ferrari. Aston's now dropped to P7. P8 is Honda. And P9 is Mercedes. As Hypertech says, yo, in chat. And we see the NRT boys are here for Insert Coin. Here's your man. Here's Insert Coin on screen now. As I believe Joe's still blowing his nose.
No, I'm here. I was just letting you do your thing.
Yeah, so that's our current championship, and now we have qualifying. And one that's going to decrease in...
wet qualifying.
But in 10 minutes, it's going to decrease. So
but it's still going to rain.
What
so
you
I don't
do...
think...
Me personally, if it was me qualifying, but I rarely qualify because you don't win a race in qualifying, you just put enough fuel in the car and just do laps and let the track get drier as you're driving around.
If it was me,
I
won't qualify.
Provisional pole though. Dan Davis.
Is obviously Dan Davis, yep. Championship leader. He pulled his gap up a little bit.
Oh, Beasley's
but
jumped
M.
a second.
Harris has also closed it.
As Beasley jumps to P2. P3 is Mathew Duffin. P4 is Jamal
P4 is Clouden.
Alex is up P5. This is very early though, still 10 minutes of the session to go.
People are probably testing the water still, because obviously last race wasn't wet, this race it is. Well, this qualifying it is.
Gray just moved up to P5. Now he's got some fuel in the car.
Insert Coin goes P3 ahead of Matt. Pacina in the Mustang goes 55 thousandths of a second faster than Dan Davis.
Oh, the Mustang.
I did not expect the Mustang to do well in the wet.
You know, American muscle car. Well, modern Fords. Well, modern muscle cars aren't like they were in the 60s. They can go down corners now. It's all not all about.
Have you seen that video of the Mustang Dark Horse GTD, I believe it's called? Basically this.
Yeah.
But even faster.
Let's see
go
what
around
Burton
Nürburgring
can
for
do.
testing.
Burton's coming up to turn 2 at the moment, but he is on a valid lap. Because if you see a light blue dot, that means they're on an invalid lap. The grey means they're on invalid. For those in the stream want to know what's happening.
Kieran O'Reilly's currently invalidated. You've got Nikita
Beasley
behind
fastest
him.
by 500ths of a second from Duffin. So it's constantly changing at the top. Coins. There's Coin in P7. In the Honda. As Joe's breathing down the headset. So, yeah, the times are getting quicker though, because Gray was what, P5?
Cena's coming into the last corner. He's currently P3, almost 2/10 off of P pole position. He increases by 7/1000ths of a second.
Little improvement, you know, keep going out there, keep circulating. Jim's sitting in the pits.
He doesn't get the apex in turn 1 there.
That might be a Mustang thing.
Look at how close Michael Harris is to his teammate now in P2.
FBR though now leading the teams championship by 1 point.
That top 3 is insane.
That's insanely close, isn't
I've
it?
not seen anything. I don't think there's ever been a top 3 this close before.
Oh,
and
until
Dan
Dan
goes
goes
even quicker.
until Dan goes faster.
By 4/10, I feel like some people are gonna start struggling now.
Yeah, but
Cause
not a bad debut win for it's his first win here at SimPlay for Nikita. I
Beasley
believe it's
improves by just under 2/10 of a second, so now he's got 2 points. What? Almost 3/10.
oh look at that weather. Get a little bit later in 10 minutes and then chucks it down again in half an hour.
You think
It's
this
Red
race
Bull
is
Ring.
going to be interesting?
Is Red Bull Ring actually in the Lake District? Or Wales, where it rains all the time?
Cena goes wide out of the last corner, that invalidates his lap time. Oh, he's
Well, he's
dropped it
been-
and smashed
he's
into the pit wall.
And returned to the pits before whoever was then coming to the line got there, which I believe was Harris in his BMW.
The good thing about wet tires is it doesn't matter how many times you return to the pits because you have unlimited sets of those. I
Yeah.
found that out.
You don't have unlimited sets of slicks anymore, you're still limited to 10.
Limited
So-
to 10 slicks, but you have unlimited wets.
Yeah, because I don't think the game could figure out how many wet compounds you would have. In some
No,
places,
'cause-
though, you never need a wet tyre. In theory. Like in the middle of a desert.
If you're Sotty Apex, you go slicks, no traction control, in the pouring wet.
Someone else who's probably not got much traction control is this man, Gary131. Or Gary Leach, as his real name is, because I'm so used to PSN names again. As he circulates currently in
I'm
P8 in
just
his
watching
Porsche.
people go down, you know, that left-hand kink where it goes straight before the other left and the right coming into the last corner.
Yeah.
I'm seeing how many people can go and touch the gravel because they're trying to go flat out, and so far it was Insert
Matt.
Coin and Gary Burton behind him.
Matt's moved up to P2.
Still got 3/10 of a second till Dan Davis. That Lambo in the wet seems to be doing pretty well around here.
Dan's now going to put some fuel in, or maybe chase that. Chase that time, boys.
Do you think Dan's going to have another repeat of race 2 from last week? 30 seconds or something, was it, up the road?
Well, that's Netterton, yeah. Mr. I don't like British circuits. Clearly not. We'll find out at Brands next week, won't we? That's the thing, tune in on Wednesday for the Pro-Am boys, where they take on Brands.
This is
And
what
they-
me and Matt said to Dan on Sunday at Thruxton. We were like, if you do well at Brands, because he done well at Silverstone on the sim rigs they had at Thruxton, he got the fastest lap of the day for SimPlay Motorsport and himself. And we said to him after that, if you do well at Brands, we don't want to hear you moan about how much you hate British tracks. And and he agreed. Dan
Harris has
actually
moved up to
agreed to it.
P2. Dan is back out for another qualifying lap with 4 minutes and 45 seconds left of the session.
Dan, if I know Dan, he knows that he's got more time in that car. If he didn't think he had more time in it, he wouldn't go out.
Coin just moved up, I believe, in position. No, Coin's not done
So
a
did
lap yet.
Cloudon's up to P4 now.
Coin's moved up to
60,000
8.
of a second off of Matt.
Times are changing all the time now because the track's probably getting a little bit drier now with the rain easing before it gets very heavy again. Race 2's going to be really interesting with the weather.
I'm curious to know. Well, I don't know how much the time difference is between the qualifying and the race.
But I believe it's an hour.
But here you go, I can check. So, there's only an hour difference.
It's an hour difference, so yeah, that race 2 will
It's
be
gonna
wet.
be. Well, it depends if it is. Well, we can only see up for the next half an hour.
Yeah,
So it all
Harris,
depends.
4/100ths of a second off the back of Dan Davis.
Harris has got really close to the back of down there.
The
Where is
BMW.
I cannot find him similar. Oh, he's just started a lap. He's coming up into the hairpin. He's going to start his another lap.
As times are improving, Harris has now gone through the next left-hander onto that curve there. He's got Dennis Newman far enough in front of him.
I can't find Harris. Oh, P2.
He's P2, yeah. Jim's decided not to qualify. And let the chaos.
Also, honestly, smart thing from Jim there, because with how wet it is, well, obviously with the pack being so close coming into turn 1 where you have to slam on your brakes, I feel like some people might lock up and there's going to be some by 0.2 of a second. How are they finding time? The rain's not easing up. The track's not getting drier. How are they improving?
Let's see how Davis does as he comes to the final 2 corners in the Lamborghini with the white, black and gold. Reigning pro champion.
To be honest, I kind of do like it.
Reigning pro champion. His teammate crosses the line and improves to P11. And Davis does not improve that lap. As the next car coming around is car 21, which is Hoffa in the M6. No, he does improve in time, but not in position.
You've got
Gary
Nikita
131
coming into the 2 penultimate corners.
Our race 1 winner. Contender for driver of the day for that, because he did win race 1. Didn't really put a wheel wrong, did he? He had all that pressure from behind, from Burton and Pacina. He improved to P5.
Nikita goes from P14 to P5. That's a lap time and a half.
Cowden's come to the line. So is Beasley. Just crossed the line.
To see some of these numbers. You got number 34.
34. That's
Harris.
Harris again.
Harris coming out of the final corner. Is he going to improve on his time anymore? I honestly don't think he does need to, but
no, he does. It's car behind.
Dan, how did Dan not invalidate that lap? He was all 4 on the curb.
Here comes Alex coming through final turn now. He's got Burton behind him, who's on an invalidated lap.
Alex Powell goes P8. This doesn't seem to suit Aston Martin too well, does it?
Here comes Davis to the line.
I think Dan's struggling to find anywhere to improve.
Right, but what we're going to do, hopefully the game will let me go on board with Harris. Of course not. Now I've got to find him. Thank you, game, for... We'll go on board with Duffin instead. Here we go, on board with Duffin as he comes to the top, the hairpin at the top of the circuit. Turns in. He's got a look like a Lamborghini in front of him. Yeah, that's Dan Davis.
As qualifying finish. finishes. This is going to be everyone's last lap, apart from number 88. Well, 888, sorry.
Which is Nikita.
Nikita. I know, so he's finished already.
Yeah.
My screen years past the line by the time.
Clouden is finished. In P1, Clouden just improved to apparently.
Clouden just jumped to P1, 2/10 ahead of Michael Harris. Wow, Insert Coin is done. He is P4. You got Nikita finished in P6. Who's that coming across? Michael Harris has just finished, and he improves, but not enough to take the pole back.
From
So
Clouden.
it's going to be Clouden and Michael Harris. But the question is, does this man
Dan's invalidated.
is he?
Yep.
Oh, I didn't say it.
Alex has just crossed the line.
Got number 11 coming out of the last corner. Mike Matthews, Dan's teammate, coming across
Improves
the line.
to P10.
To P10.
What does Duffin do?
In the pits, but it says he's on track.
Duffin stays in P6.
For me, it said Kieran O'Reilly and Dennis Newman were on track, but they were in the pits when I spectated them.
Yeah, it does that because I see they stopped. Yeah, I love this game. It's better than the F1 games. What they have ever come.
This is a lot less.
So on pole, here we go. I'll bring up the qualifying times here. Well, I've got time to still bring them up because I've got 1 minute. It's going to look like it's going to be a wet race. We've got Clouden on pole for Greasy Bandits Racing. Harrison second, not far off. That's close. Dan Davis in third. Coyne in fourth. Power in fifth. Duffin sixth. Nikita, our race one winner, in seventh. Gary Leach eighth. Beasley ninth. Mike Matthews 10th. Pacino 11th. Burton 12th. Gray 13th. O'Reilly 14th. Hoffer in 15th. Newman 16th. And Jim, who didn't set a qualifying time, in P17. So, they have all the drivers will make their final checks for setup. They do have to put fuel in the car for 25 seconds to have a valid stop. Would you change tyres in the wet?
Touch and go, to be honest.
Because if you put new ones on, but put new ones in, there's no heat in them.
No.
20
but
seconds.
then again, it would only take about half a lap for him to get warm, maybe a lap for him to get up to pressure. And then after that, you're on a lot fresher rubber than everyone else.
10 seconds.
Better traction out of the corners.
Our race, I'll still change tyres because you want them corners of the wet weather tyres nice and edgy, wouldn't you?
Yeah. But here we go. Start of the formation lap. They're gonna do one very sketchy lap.
It's gotta be flippy.
Up to temperature.
Everyone's readied up this time in time. Hopefully they put the right tyres on the car. That is the question.
You're definitely 100% seeing this weather, considering it's increasing in the next 10 minutes and then decreasing.
Yeah, I'm seeing that too. Yeah. Good luck, as Glarball says. Yeah, it's gotta be interesting, isn't it? Completely interesting.
Tech in the chat saying, "Let's go, Greasy Bandits."
Yep, because they got a pole position for McLaren. It's McLaren, BMW, some Lamborghini, Honda, Aston Martin. That's an interesting top five there.
It's just interesting to see that the Mustang went from P1 all the way down to P11 now.
Yeah. Well, in a wet though, you want traction, and
you can barely see anything that is that heavy right now.
Oh, if this was Formula 1, they'd red flag this. This would be red flagged, wouldn't it? If this was F1. But this is GT3. As the fake fat bloke says, hi all. Yeah, but if this was Formula 1, they'd red flag this in these conditions.
Which doesn't make sense in my personal opinion.
Well, it's like the Nürburgring 24 got red flagged because of very thick fog. I can understand that, because around that circuit, you don't want to mess around, do you?
No, Nürburgring is too dangerous.
It is. It's far too dangerous to mess about.
It's too quick,
It-
and it's a very tight, twisty circuit, but it's also fast.
It's also a very old circuit.
How old is it now?
Built between the wars by Nazi Germany. Yeah. Built in like the 20s or something like that.
So it's almost 100 years old.
Yeah. The Nordschleife had changed. The Südschleife has disappeared under the Grand Prix circuit. The race win went to Nikita in the McLaren, who's P7 on the grid for this one.
But they all exit out of the last corner. Who's your tip for the race win, PM?
Harris. I think the BM's a bit more stable than the Macca.
I'm gonna go Dan just because I know how the BMW drives and it's got a period where
Clouden just.
Where did Clouden go?
Clouden just lagged, didn't he? Clouden's lagging.
Yeah. I don't know.
Green light, give it all you
Oh,
got.
there he is. He's back.
He's back. He just lagged then, didn't he? Quite
Yeah, he
majorly.
lagged pretty badly. But it's lights out, and Clouden gets a hell of a jump into turn 1. You got Dan trying to go around the outside of Harris at the exit of turn 1. He gets around the outside of him. What?
Yep. Coins up to
That
P4. Oh, Gray's better backwards. At the back as yep. Oh, as the timing and scoring catches up. Powell
He's
looking down the
catching up
inside
and
of Duffin.
everything's all over the place.
Coin was waiting for her. Harris was wide. It's complete chaos. Probably because you can't actually see now because of the spray from 17 angry GT3 cars. Clouden with the best visibility. Dan's visibility won't be too bad now in P2. Harrison
No, he's just
P3.
got to get that Lamborghini hooked up and catch back up onto the back of Clouden. Because Clouden's already coming out of, well, halfway through.
I'm trying to find.
Halfway through the first lap and almost a second and a half.
2 seconds,
over
maybe.
a second and a half.
Meanwhile, in mid pack,
It looks like he struggled through that corner though, because it looks like Dan's brought that gap down a little bit, but Harris is on the back of Dan. He's not really letting him go. He's going to try and eye up a move and catch onto the back of Dan, but I don't think Dan's going to be easy to pass in the wet.
no, Dan's not easy to pass in general, isn't he?
No.
As someone who's been teammate with him in the past and raced him.
That is true. All I have to say is
Whoa, look at everyone wide at the back. Who is that? Oh, Jimbo's just gotten into Coin, I believe.
Matt's round, Alex Powell's round.
Whoa.
That got messy.
That got messy in the
Very
final corner. Power, I don't believe Power can get. Is that Power or is that?
I can't find Alex.
No,
Alex Powell's going.
Alex
It's
is going.
74, Kieran O'Reilly.
He just couldn't get the power down. Of course, off track now, it'll be soaking.
Kieran O'Reilly has some hefty damage to that Mustang.
Yeah.
I believe Mike Matthews got caught up in that as well. I'm not too sure. I can't really see his car. His car actually looks okay.
I think he was just avoiding everyone, wasn't he? And had to go right off track to avoid it. Because someone
I think Alex Powell got caught up in it.
I think someone looped it in the final corner, and of course it's unsighted. You're gonna hit if you can't see where they are. Even though it should be.
Sir Coin has some really bad damage to that Honda.
And it's
Matt's
a long.
BMW is sliding all over the place. He's got damage to the front of that BMW as well. GT Jimbo, I think, escaped it. I'm not too sure. I can't see any damage to his car.
P4 at the moment is Hoffer in the M6, the oldest car in the field. It's good to see the older cars still race. Nikita, P10.
I mean, you got Clouden keeping that gap at about a second from Dan, so it's ebbing and flowing between those two.
Oh, that was one of the McLarens quite wide, I believe. Yeah, it was Nikita, because he's got Jim behind him. Then Duffin. Then Coin.
Oh, Hoffer was off track. At turn 1, he just joined off the exit road.
He's not doing the bike circuit, is he? The chicane bit up that hill, which is the bike.
No, on the outside of turn 1.
Alex is on the back of... Alex is side by side with Gray, coming up to the hairpin. Who breaks the latest in these tricky conditions? Look at the water off the line.
Great, gives Alex a power tap, which sends him off onto the curb a little bit. You don't want that, because that might unsettle the car.
Oh, very
Gray
close.
goes up and gets moved down, but you've got Mike Matthews coming up onto Alex Power now because of the little contact. It unsettled Alex's car. Mike's going to look up the inside, pull back in. He's going to back out of that move for now.
Yeah, and then behind them is O'Reilly in the Mustang. Meanwhile...
Oh, Mike's car sliding. Coming out of that corner. The rear end said, nah, I'm alright.
The rear end said, you know what, I might not want any grip now. Thanks. Looking half an hour though, the rain's decreasing. And that's when the pit window's
that's
open.
That's in the next 10 minutes. It
and
decreases.
And it decreases
again in a half hour to light showers.
And that's when the window is open. Do you hang out as long as possible on these wets to see if it dries out to put slicks on?
I think Dan's pushing the car too much. He just went wide at turn 1 a little bit. I think he's pushing too much now.
Here's Harris in the Golf livery FBR BMW. Hoffa's now got Burton on the back, and Davy Leach is with him.
Who's that going wide out of turn 1? I think Harris is just... Beasley just had a bit of a...
He's trying to get the run on Pacina's Mustang. Pacina's got a bit of damage on the front of that.
Doesn't seem to be affecting him too much though. In the wet, I don't think that might be helping him. But
Burton and Gary are slowing. But Gary's a lot slower, so this other pack.
I think Gary's outset might have tapped the back of Burton because that seems to be damage to the front of Gary's car and damage to the rear of Burton's car.
And of course, while they're battling, they're letting Hoffa get away from them. As BC looks around the outside of Pacina going
Gary's on the outside of Burton. Is he going to try and get the cut back coming out of the corner? He's looking for it, but he don't think Burton's giving him enough room for it.
Oh, what a camera angle. What a camera angle that was by that. Oh, Burton's close to a slide! Oh. He kind of held it, but he's lost 3 positions with that slide. Maybe 4 if Newman gets a run on him. Newman's having a look with Nikita behind him, our race 1 winner. Oh, Pacina's having a look going the inside of Leach. Coming into the final corner.
Gary's holding that outside line. He's kept the position. Good defender from Gary. Dan Davis is round. That's Dan.
Dan
That's the championship leader off into the wall.
As he's now lost 3 positions. 4 positions.
4, I think.
A little bit of damage on the front of it. Pacina's off. Gary's off into the wall. On turn 1.
I think Dan's got a bit of damage to the rear end of his car. Just from what I've seen on the turn 1 cam, I'm not too sure.
I'll tell you what, ACC, these cameras for Red Bull Ring aren't very good. Because you can't see everything properly.
No, they're not.
I'll tell you what, I'm going to go to an on-board and see what, in a little bit when one of the battles get going, but Dan's having a mare. Leach is now behind Matt. Nikita's dropped down to 11th.
Harris is 3.4 seconds off the back of Clouden. Clouden's already got the fastest lap of the race, so he's just sat there. He's cruising now at the moment. He's trying to keep the gap.
Hoffa's in no man's land on his own at the moment, and then there's a huge gap back towards Beasley and Davis for the rest of the field.
Beasley's just holding Dan off at the moment, but I think he's also pulling away from him now because that seems to be a bigger gap than what it was before.
Yeah, but if you look, this group of cars are all close together from about P4 all the way down to P... Well, even Alex isn't that far off the backup either, so...
No, he's right on the back of Mike Matthews.
It's a Ferrari train, or trolley train, at the moment. As Dan's looking at the back of the Golf liveried Ferrari.
You've got Gary Leach on the back of his teammate coming into turn 1.
Braking. Do
team effects come in where Matt lets Gary through, or are they going to hold position for now? What do you think?
It's too early for team orders, in my opinion. far too early in the season.
Well,
Oh.
I think Gary's quick, but he's got too much damage to that car, so I think he's going to struggle when it comes to the later
Dan's
part
on the
race
inside of
this time.
Beasley, going through towards the double right-hander at the top of the circuit.
Question is, do you want to be on the inside line? I think
Oh,
you'd
look
rather
how
be on the
wet
outside
it
line.
is
Look at
there.
the slight dry line. There is a dry line forming.
But they give each other room. They're holding position side by side, now into the double left-handers. Dan had a little wiggle, tiniest a wiggle from the Lambo. The Ferrari's
He's trying to
back
go
in
up his
front.
inside.
I like that curb camera. I must admit
That
curb.
is probably the best camera they have. This track.
But the rest of them a bit, especially when you're looking at the start. You're so far away.
Yeah, you can't tell when they go green and when they're not until the guy shouts green, green, green.
Yeah, your race engineer. For some reason, we've got race engineers as well shouting green, 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 and we're in the commentary box in the dry.
I mean, that's kind of a good thing though, because that way we know when they're going.
Harris has caught a few temps on the back of Clouden, and he's not the
Dennis
fastest
Newman's
lap.
holding off onto the inside line.
It's just Dennis Newman. He's in front of Pacina. Duffin's behind him. Beasley and Davis continue with a battle. And look at this train of cars coming up the straight. Well, it isn't really straight. Harris and Clouden are pulling away from Hoffa. Beasley slowly winding Hoffa in. But Hoffa will be screaming for red flags now. Stop the race, stop the race. He P3 in the M6.
You've got Dan, oh no, backed out of it. Dan was looking on the inside. You got Matt looking on the inside of Cena. There's just, because of the wet, it's bringing in so many battles. You got a 4-car battle right now for P7. You got Dennis Newman holding off Pacina, who's then holding off Mathew Duffin, who's then holding off Gary Leach,
his own teammate, and Nikita's not a million miles away either.
He's not a million miles away, but he's also not close enough to feel the effects of the slipstream in the straight.
Meanwhile, Davis is all
you got
over
Pacina going up the inside of Dennis Newman.
Oh!
Dennis Newman's cutting his nose off. That's a dangerous defense.
That's a late move into. Oh! What was that?
I think Dennis Newman just got
Burton's
too much
gone around as well. In a separate incident, Dennis Newman's gone into the pits for.
He had to have cut. Dennis Newman had to have cut the pit entry line.
Well, hopefully someone will put that in, because I didn't see it, because I can't wait to see what happened over the outside of the corner. Oh, Burton's still trying to get the car going. Clouden's now reset fastest lap. Davis is on the back of Beasley once again. Leach is on the back of Duffin. Dan's now got to try around the outside.
Just going through the replay at the moment to see if I can find it. Because that was dangerous.
Unless the car speared into the pit lane because it was lost traction. Meanwhile, Davis is trying to get past the Ferrari of Beasley. Duffin now in P6 with his teammate for company. They're 2 seconds in front of Jim. Coyne's got Alex Power for company. Nikita's with them. Mike Matthews is in P12. Klabel's just said, got up on that curb.
Okay.
It's absolutely lethal out there. That's what Klabel's just said.
What happened is Newman went too wide into the corner because he cut across the nose of Pacina. And what happened is because he made a last minute judder, he missed his brakes, went a bit wide, put the power down on
the curb and
like red and white stripes, sort of like concrete, which is just obviously when it gets wet, sleek as anything.
Yeah.
Lost the rear end, smacked the back of Pacina, and then just went straight off into the pits.
Well, yeah, because he couldn't really rejoin the circle, so you might as well drive through the pit lane.
No, he hit the pit lane wall.
Yeah, so he's
the way he came across and hit Piscina, it kind of
Alex is wide at
shoved him into the pits,
turn
but because it was
2.
on the grass, he just slid.
Coins got past him. Coins got the inside into the right-hander. I'll tell you what, it is really wet out there.
You got Nikita on the back of this now.
Yeah, there's Piscina in the Mustang, who was innocent victim in the wetness from Newman losing traction. Side by side through the left-handers, Alex Bauer and insert coin. What? But that camera was probably destroyed if it was a real camera. With 17 GT cars keep hitting it.
Well,
It's a white flag out. Who's moving slowly?
It was, I believe, Dennis Newman lap car.
So he's pulling over because of blue flags. So Dan's there in front of Leach and Duffin. Well, that was the case anyway. He still can't get away past Beasley. Beasley's got him covered.
The gap was 8/10 last lap. I'm not sure if Dan's car's got significant damage.
But Beasley seems to have him covered, doesn't he?
Yeah. I think Dan's just trying too hard to get past at the moment. It's too early in the race to tell, but if it was me, I'd just, drive my own race.
Look, in half an hour's
push
time.
Too hard.
Now, dry. No rain. So, do you hang
half
out?
An hour is going to be...
Just as the window's going to close, isn't it? Roughly.
Yeah, because you're going to have about 15 minutes left of the race. I don't think it's going to be enough time for them to...
It's quite warm with 19-degree track temperature, so that will dry. Because look at qualifying, look how the dry line appeared there, didn't it? At the end. So,
Yeah,
would you risk slicks in your pit stop?
No. Personally, I don't think I would.
Or would you just put a set of wets on with a lot lower pressures so they don't balloon when it gets drier? Yeah, you won't have a lot of grip while it's still quite wet, but they're not going to go pop on you when it dries out.
I mean, personally, I think it's too soon to tell. Like, you don't want to...
And if you're enjoying this very interesting race too, make sure you smash that like button and hit the subscribe, turn the bell notification on so notified when we're live. Mid-July we'll have the GT4s happening on Tuesdays. We've also got our second endurance race on Saturday the something of July. I can't remember the date off the top of my head. At Imola, 3 hours. So that's all coming in within the next month or so here at SimPlay Motorsport. Of course, we've got Pro-Am and Pro continuing. So there's a lot of racing here coming for the next 10, 11 weeks. De Hoffner's... Beasley's caught about a second and a bit on De Hoffner.
Yeah, I think De Hoffner's struggling, because you look at that gap to Harris, it's now 15 seconds.
Yeah, his tyres starting to overheat with the rain decreasing.
I wouldn't say that it
Coins in the pits.
because of how wet the track is.
Coins now in the pits. So, don't know what happened there. Because we're watching... Oh, is that Leach right tucked in behind Duffin? It is. The, Chick Hicks inspired livery from class. Matt's ran wide. He's not a yield a position to let Gary through. And he has. Because you could have just floored it and keep track position.
Richard Beasley now does the fastest lap of the session.
In the Ferrari. So now he's not concentrating on his mirrors. Because Dan's dropped to nearly 2 seconds behind him.
Yeah, he's left down in the dusk a little bit.
Oh, Mike's past Piscina now. Piscina's got a lot of damage as they're lapping Newman. at the top end of the circuit. What are your thoughts of this circuit? I actually really like it. As insert coin sort of stop go for speeding in the pit lane. Whoops.
For me personally, it's not my favourite. It's definitely nowhere near my favourite. I don't mind it, but it's not my go-to. Like, it's a bit of a hit and miss one for me.
Well, on another racing game in another league a long time ago, on a console 2 generations ago, I won a 4-hour race around here. In an LMP.
I'll tell you the one thing I will never, ever forget about. I think it was season 3 or 4. I was in the Mercedes-Benz around this track in the Pro category on Project Cars 2 for SimPlay Motorsport. And this is where I won my first pro race in the Mercedes-Benz.
You were quite handy.
You know, it's not a Mercedes-Benz track at all.
You pedalled it somehow, didn't you, Joe?
Slide the back end out, mate.
Well, that's your MO, isn't it, really? Just kick the back end out. As Beezy's
Treat
now
it like
caught...
an FD car.
Beezy has now caught Hoffer. You should be really good at rally games then.
I'm not too bad.
You know, you've got to slide round the corner, especially on gravel. And Scandi flick them.
I wish I had a hydraulic handbrake that plugged into PS5. Just rip that, there you go, boom. Got 123.
That's insert coin.
Points.
He's got a service stop go within the next 2 laps, if not he get DQ'd, because it's quite early into the race. So Beezy's fastest lap from Clouden at a very soggy Red Bull ring in the Styrian Mountains in Austria.
You can definitely tell that the ring, because I mean, you've got a dry line.
Harris is catching Clouden.
He's just taking the fastest lap of the race as well.
Yeah. Hoffer's now got his mirrors full of the other FBR car.
There's just cars ebbing and flowing in this race at the moment.
They're starting to string out a little bit now as well. We've got O'Reilly. We've got the battle of the Mustangs. Pacina versus O'Reilly.
That's going to be an interesting one. Because if I remember correctly, well, I mean, they both got hefty damage. Pacina got hit in the rear by Dennis Newman.
Beasley's having a look down the inside. No, thought better of it. Davis is catching back up, though, with this.
I wonder if Dan's struggling because he's now 2 seconds behind.
I think it's a case of he backed off Beasley, so Beasley can now chase Hoffer and then follow to help move forward.
But the thing is, if these two start fighting, Dan's going to then catch up to the back of them, and it's just going to be a repeat of a couple of laps ago where Dan can't find the way through Beasley.
Pit window opens within the next minute, so 30 seconds a minute, so Beasley's having a look down the inside into the... he's passed. He's through.
That is a hell of a...
What a pass by Beasley.
That was signed, sealed and posted. He absolutely sent that.
But what a move.
That was a first class Royal Mail.
Yeah. So that's now FBR in second and third.
Both on the podium.
And the pit window has now opened. Do we get any early pit callers? The first person who can take advantage of it.
Top 5 have already gone past, so they can't go through.
Is Jimbo.
7,
Jimbo stays out. So does Gray. But they're probably waiting to see what that weather does.
Yeah, Pacina stays out, so does O'Reilly, Alex Powell stays out, Nikita stays out, Gary Burton stays out, Dennis Newman is also staying out.
Yep, Dennis is staying out.
Insert coin is in to stop it, service stop go penalty.
Yep, let's see how quick.
Nobody pits.
Let's see how quick Beasley can catch his teammate Harris, who's 20 seconds up the road from him. Because they've had the clearest track, really.
I mean, Clouden and Harris have checked out before pit stops. They've already checked out.
Do they pit early but not know what the weather does, or do you leave it quite late and then try to put the slicks on? That is the question.
I don't think the track is going to dry enough.
Oh, Davis has just got in front of Hoffa for P4.
Dan's not letting Beasley get away too easy. I was about to say too fast, but...
So, yeah, Dan's now hunting down again, once more. Leach and
can't
Duffin.
seem to catch on to the back of Gary.
Leach and Duffin still together.
And then you got 13 seconds back to GT Jimbo and P8, so, I mean... Ever since those couple of accidents have happened, it's all kind of just spaced out because everyone's damage is all different, so they're all struggling in their own different ways.
Yeah, I'll tell you what, I think the stewards might be busy. Okay, that's O'Reilly off in the countryside. As he joins back in, ooh, it's a bit... Yeah. It looks like he's going to come in to fix his damage. Look at that Mustang. That is heavily damaged.
I'm surprised he didn't pit as soon as it opened, to be honest, because his Mustang was hurt.
It was, wasn't it? So, Piscina's also in the pits. Look at his Mustang. It's like got another mouth.
That damage has got worse.
It's like it's got another mouth. You can look into the engine bay. Yeah, that was an important move by Dan, and he's already dropped a Hoffler.
I don't think the Hoffners...
Tell you what, though.
A good end for this race.
No.
I think that M6...
I think as it dries out, the M6 will struggle, because it being an older car. Somehow, though, Smokey Devil got it all work that season. He ran one, didn't he?
Yeah, I
Couple of seasons.
how. I do not know how. I tried using that. I was like, oh, it's a BMW, let's try it. Tried it, I was like, yeah, no, I'm fine.
Of course,
that rear end's too aggressive.
The GT4 season coming up, will you hopefully be sorted so you can race it and defend your title in GT4s?
I should be. Fingers crossed I should be getting my will this weekend. So I can be back for GT4s.
Yeah. I'll be in the GT4s more because the 20-minute quickfire races appeal to me more at the moment. Because if I'm going to do a long stint, I'd rather leave it to the endurance race. To be honest. You know, but I can settle into a rhythm.
I want to join into that endurance race as well, to be honest.
Oh, look at Mike on the back of Gray. He's having a look down the inside into the hairpin. Yeah, no, he thought better of it.
Backed out of that. If you look at Gray, look at the front of Gray's car. Is it me or does it look slightly bent out of shape?
It is slightly flat. I mean, Jimbo's not far up the road from him.
Jimbo's just driving his own race, isn't he?
He is.
I have a feeling that's a dry setup on that Ferrari.
More than likely. Well, in half an hour time, that's got to work. So, that's the track dries.
The unexpected.
That's the thing, if it was parked firm, you wouldn't have been able to change it up, like in the real world.
Jimbo's just kind of kept himself to himself this race, and he's up in P8, he's doing alright, he's just kind of going... Well, just driving his own race, and he's not trying to fight anyone, he's not trying to catch anyone, he's just doing what he does, what he wants to do, and pushing himself as far as he wants to go, and he's up in P8, so he's doing everything he needs to do right now for good points.
Well, I look like Mike's coming into the pits to make his mandatory pit stop. He is.
Yeah, you are correct.
Dan's also in the pits, so he's not behind Beasley to try a jump in.
No, he's probably going to try and catch up before Beasley pits. I wonder if Dan's repairing that damage.
Maybe.
I don't know how ACC pit stops properly work. I don't know if you can put fuel in and change tyres at the same time.
Yeah, you can. It's normally a 30-second stop if you put tyres in.
No, not change tyres, sorry. Fix your damage.
No, the damage normally adds time on. Jamal Clouden leading this race. He's led from pole position, so...
He's kept the gap pretty much the same this entire race.
Yeah, well, and they're a long way now in front of Hoffa. Where... Beasley's pitted, hasn't he? Is Beasley in the pits? I can't see him on the list. Undercut was very powerful in the dry.
P6.
It was yesterday as well. Beasley's made a mistake. He's behind. He's lost time to Hoffer, Duffin, and Leach. And yeah, he's coming into the pits.
He's got major damage to the rear end of that Ferrari.
So Dan will jump him now. Because Dan is now at the top of the end of the circuit with Clouden about to put a lap on him. That's how much time you lose in the pits. You lose nearly a lap here at Red Bull Ring. Zolder's going to be, not Zolder, Zandvoort will be about the same later in the season. And so would probably Laguna, because that's a short lap.
I think Laguna's about 1 minute 24?
Well, for the Pro Boys, yeah, for me it's probably about 1 minute, 2 million years. That's O'Reilly going very slow. Insert Coins pulled over to do his pit stop as well. As Clouden's behind Davis. Ooh, you got to be careful not to turn in. You got to realise them cars are coming into pit. Beasley's still in the pits. Dan will jump him.
We are halfway through. Keep it up.
As we're halfway through this race here at the Red Bull Ring.
I heard your race engineer shout, but not mine.
What said we're halfway through, yeah.
Yeah, mine didn't shout that at me.
I have mine turned up quite loud so I could hear it over the engines when I'm racing.
Yeah, but I mean mine didn't say it in general because I got my... It's coming through the headset on mine. And they didn't even say it at all. But it's kind of started calming down now, isn't it? There's nothing really going on. Apart from Gary's got back behind Matt. So that one's switched for position.
As they do jump Beasley, definitely jump Beasley.
Cena catching the back of Dennis Newman, who hasn't pitted yet. You got Insert Coin. I'm going to say that's a retirement.
He's back in. I think he's gone back in for his mandatory. Yeah, his car's just been dropped, but does it move? Because we'll discuss that. Hopefully Hypertech is watching as well, one of our stewards for Pro.
Kieran O'Reilly's gone green, but he's still sat there. Cena and Dennis Newman are going side by side. Cena goes around the outside of him.
O'Reilly's moving. I just saw him move. As Harris...
Kieran O'Reilly comes out of the pits now, there you go.
Harris is very close to the back of... Clouden. I lost the train of thought again.
Dennis Newman has now lost 1.3 seconds to Casino.
Yep. Newman hit the pit, and of course
2 laps down to Clouden.
He must have had a lot of damage there.
He's down in P13, Dan's up in P10, so he's been jumped by half of the pit stop.
Meanwhile, still in P3. Yes, he's got the newer M6 catching him. M4, I mean, catching him. But it is Hoffer in the M6. Look at it in P3. That's no Burton out of the pits letting him through, because and Duffin behind him. Gary has pitted. Does he repair his damage? Look at that. Look at this front split and bent. That's normally made out of wood or carbon fibre. Harris needs to pit if he can catch back markers. Well, he's now right on the back of Clouden. And it looked like Clouden's pulled over the pit. Yeah, he's taking the lead as Clouden's slowing down the pit, come into pit lane correctly. Harris takes the lead of this race here at Red Bull Ring. Remember, if you like what you see, hit that like button, smash the subscribe, and turn on notifications. And check out our sponsors, Design Manchester and Audio Sport. As Gary's pulled out of the pits.
They do make some great merchandise from Team Audio Sport and Design Manchester.
Design Manchester, like, I believe it's trophies, key rings, things like that, isn't it? And
yeah,
Audio
and
Sport.
then
Audio
brain's
Sport.
not braining right now.
Audio Sport is car accessories for
T4s and T5s. I remember that bit.
For VW T4s, T5s to be specific.
Yes.
As Clouden, well, yeah, we saw Clouden pit, so Coin is still in the pits and not moved. As I just quickly...
There's no... Mathew Duffin is on the back of
Hoffer. And he's alongside...
inside line now. Is he going to get the move stuck, or is he going to back out of it?
But no, he's far enough in front. Hoffer will give him that.
Late on the brakes, turn it in. Thank your mama for the carrots.
Yeah, that is definitely thank your mama for the carrots. Right there, far for Mathew Duffin.
Matt hit the brakes that late, I thought, honestly, he was going to go off.
Yeah. Harris is in the pits. In the Golf BMW. Any car can have a Golf livery, by the way. It just works. Porsches,
Well, I hand it to these boys, though. They haven't...
No.
Came in unexpected rain for majority of them, and they stuck with it. They haven't...
Yeah.
No one's retired. Oh, I mean, obviously...
Well, I think Coin's retired. Yeah, I think Coin's retired, so maybe if Hypertext in chat look into that in the YouTube chat, one of the stewards, whilst I'm commentating and other things. Matt's now getting held up by P11, so that's great. It didn't give him a lot of room, and didn't give Hoffer a lot of room either. And Hoffer clipped the back of him. Harris is away. And there's Clouden. This is gonna be close. As Harris gets on the power now, and Clouden is just in front. Look how close this is for the race lead. And this is the net race lead right here. Is Clouden versus Harris.
My timing's fixed itself, so there you go. But I mean, Harris has done what he needed to do. He brought that gap down in the pit stop.
Right, this
now
lap,
he's got the slipstream.
Duffin, Hoffer, and Jim all have to pit this lap. They're out of time, if not.
Matt's coming in. Hoffer's
and
coming in.
Same with Newman. Newman might not make it. Newman's not going to make that, is he?
No, he's not far around enough for track.
No, he's not going to make that. Duffin's in. Hoffer's in. Jimbo will be in 20 seconds time, who will make it in. But Newman's not going to make it. In the pit window. It's one thing I like about this game, you see the dirt flicking up on the cars.
Yeah, you can just see them over time just get dirtier and dirtier, and you can just tell that when they made this game, they put a lot more into it than they did the older Assetto Corsa.
Well, the first one was also last gen, wasn't it? I think they added the dirt for like PC and the later gens.
The window is now closed.
Newman's missed the window.
That's going to be a 130-second time penalty. You can see him come in trying to get it done, but it's
too late, mate. It's too late. You're not past the pit board, which is there. You had to be past that to be in the window. Right, so let's move to our battle for the lead, which is Jamal Clouden versus Michael Harris.
Gap's open back up a bit now, though.
Yep. And
I wonder if Harris changed tyres.
What, put a new set of wets on?
And he's just trying to get them warmed up, so he's kind of dropped off the back.
Oh.
But I mean,
it's gonna be interesting,
it's
isn't
hard
it?
to tell. It's hard to tell without having all the data that you used to have on project cars too, where you could see them take the tires off and everything.
Yeah, you can on like Gran Turismo as well, can't you? And F1. On this, your car just stops when you're in the spectator cam and you don't see nothing happen. When you're in car and racing, you see it. when you're racing yourself, you will actually see it doing it. But battle for the lead. Davis is on the back of Duffin. Is he? Yes, he is. Oh, we got the 5-time champ versus 8-time champ here at SimPlay. Alex Powell with the fastest lap.
This is a battle everyone secretly wanted to see.
Oh yeah, we wanted to see this. Duffin versus Davis.
Old rivalry's at its finest there.
Will there be wing removals, like happened in Project Cars 2? Will there be 10 mile an hour below the speed limit into the pit lane? No, because they've done their stops. But it's Duffin versus Davis here at Red Bull Ring for the final step of the podium, because they're a long way behind Harris. They're in another postcode nearly. Rain has definitely
I'm not
eased.
too sure. Oh yeah, no, it's only light showers now. I'm not too sure what the gap is from Matt to.
I think because Harris and Clouden are gone through a timing split before 25 seconds. There we go.
Yeah, I think they're a sector in front, so it doesn't actually tell you how.
Did not take tyres, but you lose quite a bit of temp in the pits. That's what the other fat bloke says in YouTube chat. Yep. So, Clouden and Harris, well, they won't back off because they're in a battle. Who will get a race win here at Red Bull Ring? I don't know if Clouden's won a race. Gary's been off the road. Has Mike jumped him? No, Mike's still a long way behind Gary. He's got Alex for company. Fastest lap now to Harris as he closes the gap to 7/10 of a second. Piscina's looking for wet patches. Look at that. That means the track is definitely drying. He's hunting for wet patches. Alex is quickest at the moment. No, Matt's now got the fastest lap of the race.
So the BMW's finally got out of that weird window that it has.
Oh, well, do you know what other car has that weird window? The Bentley. It just goes for about 5-10 minutes where it just don't want to do nothing. It's like, please respond, car. Please. As now we've got Gary on the back of Hoffa. So we've got 2 battles. Well, 3 battles. Battle for the lead, battle for 5th, battle for 3rd. But you hear that Porsche screaming.
The Porsche is such a lovely car.
Have that, the V12 Aston. The Lambo doesn't sound too bad either. But listen to that sound of that Porsche. And then you got the growl of the grunt of the Mustang. Oh, I love GT racing because the noises are all different. They don't sound all the same. Right, battle for the lead is now open to a second and 1.4 second. It's Harris. Yeah, it stays the same. Matt has dropped down by a second and a
so
half.
he's struggling to keep up. Dennis Newman's still. Where is Dennis Newman for me?
He's trying to do his pit stop, but he's outside the pit window. It's not going to work now.
He's doing. What is going on?
As Hoffa is in the battle with Gary Leach. I'll tell you what, Hoffa is a hell of a drive today.
My game's really glitching out. I tap on one person, it keeps turning me to Dennis Newman.
Gary's gonna have a look down the inside into turn 1. He thinks better of it.
Okay,
as he turns into turn 1, as he heads to climb up the hill. Who's got the ponies here?
I have a feeling it's going to be the 992.
The 992's on him, but that M6 is quite a wide car. Well, they're all quite wide. They have a minimum width, don't they?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, they'll have a specified width. As Gary...
I think Gary's struggling because of his...
damage still. And Hoffa's car is so clean.
Hoffa's just stayed out of trouble. Like, he's not... He's not well, he's
No.
not really been near anyone, has he? He's been driving his own race from the start because
Beasley's on the back of
M6
Gray for P12. What could have been for Beasley? I mean, he's got so much pace in that Ferrari.
The 4296 is a very good car all round, to be honest.
Are we sure?
It doesn't do well up.
Are we sure FBR haven't hired actual Ferrari F1 team mechanics or management with their strategy?
You never know, do you?
No. But meanwhile, this battle is the most interesting one. Hoffa versus Leach. 4P5. Listen to that Porsche scream behind the BM as they turn in for turn 1. To make Dennis's day worse, he's unfortunately now got a stop-go speeding penalty.
It's not been Dennis Newman's night tonight, has it?
No, he's had pace. He had pace in practice, didn't he? And
yeah,
before we went
he was
live,
doing alright for himself. He just seemed to not have the best.
Yeah, it's just
coming into the race. I mean,
does
some
Gary
cars suit the track, some don't. You know.
Does Gary think about going off a move on Hoffa? No, he does not. Meanwhile, I think Mike is slowly gaining. Very slowly. Alex is back in the pits. Why is Alex back in the pits? Fuel, maybe? Fuel, tyres? Because he's losing positions. Harris with a fastest lap again. Behind Clouden. For the battle for the lead. Here at the Red Bull Ring. Gary's in front of Hoffa, and we didn't see it happen. Did Hoffa run wide, and Gary got past him? So Leach is now in P5 from.
I can't find Hoffa everywhere.
Yeah, he's behind Leach. So while I look to see what happened to Alex, I need to be in the game more than once so I can keep an eye on different things. That's what it is.
Harris has kind of just kept the gap at 1.1 seconds. He's not bought anything back. He's not done anything too special. Like, I have a feeling he changed tyres and he's just struggled.
No, Harris did not change tyres. He just lost a lot of temp with them. Look how much that's cloud and sliding though. The track's just moved to damp, so these wets will now start be getting rather warm.
They're gonna start overheating. They're gonna start losing overpressure. They're just gonna turn to balloons. They're gonna be slip sliding all over the place.
Because in GT racing, there is no intermediate tyre. Unlike in Formula 1. I think even in World Endurance they got rid of the inters now. So they just have wets and dries to save costs.
It's a bit ridiculous, isn't it?
Well, yeah, because you would have inters. Or you have a set of wets that have been worn in just to be intermediates. That's what we used to do at rallying. On tarmac, it's like have a set of wets worn in. That are almost, well, basically inters just for greasy conditions.
The one thing I miss is the old motorsport where everything was just basically all out fighting. No matter what you were doing.
I can remember one meeting doing karts, a lad I was helping. We went through about a grand's worth of wet weather tyres. Time to turn up the TC. Why believe your TC's already turned up because you're not very good? Hello, me. Dan's on the back of Duffin. Dennis Newman's about to get DQ'd.
You gotta do that stop go or it's gonna turn into a minute.
That won't be a minute. It won't be a minute this early in the race. It'll be DQ. Because we had that with Camel. We had that with Camel back in a few seasons ago. At one race, he didn't serve his stop go and he got DQ'd because it's early enough in the race.
Because I remember back in
Harris looking for the wet spots. That's the thing
Harris
now.
is playing this smart, to be honest. He's looking for the wet spots for his wet tyres.
Yeah. Alex is still in the pits, but he's done more than 75% of the race when he went in the pits. Coin has not. So that's definitely a retirement by Coin.
It's a shame. Coin had a good start to the race.
He did, yeah. Yeah. Look at Harris on the back of Clouden. The BMW is coming alive at this phase of the race. Running on the wet, but the track is starting to look quite dry in places. You won't see that on the PS4 version, would you? And Dan's on the back of Matt for P3 for the final place on the podium. Oh, this is fantastic. Climax to the race. Oh, that's a good camera angle. You see him coming up the hill there as well. Oh, there you go. Dennis Newman has been disqualified for not serving his stop-go. So, and if he goes in and Discord and argues about it, well, you should have served your stop-go. Regardless. As Hoffer, Larry's not dropped Hoffer. And I tell you what, look he's actually gaining on him. Mike Matthews in the other Lambo. GT Jimbo, well, he's pretty much on his own, isn't he? He's got Gary Burton, got Gary Burton close by for another top 10 finish. So not a bad night really at the points, and plus drop scores you could drop these scores as your worst scores.
I don't know how drop scores work. I don't know if you have to drop one or if they go automatically.
I think it's done. I think Matt will figures that out when he does the points. I don't know myself. As Harris is still on the back of Clouden for the race lead. Dan has lost time. Obviously, he's tried to make the move on Matt and he's gone over a second behind. Harris versus Clouden.
It's a shame to see that those two didn't get to have an all-out ball, because that would have been a great fight to see.
It would, but half a lap, well, no. Make up your words, Phil. Come on. They're nearly 30 seconds behind the battle for the lead. Oh, did Harris run wide a little bit? That's the thing, we haven't seen track limits yet. That'd be interesting to see what people are on track limits.
I haven't seen anyone have track limits either.
And around here, you can get them quite easily. Turn 1 and this, where Clouden and...
Last corner.
You can really get a track limit penalty.
But obviously, because it's been wet, they extend it.
Yeah, because the car's just not going to grip, is it?
No, you try driving it like it's in the dry.
Yeah.
It's just not going to work out. So they give it...
That's
the one thing I do like.
Dan's caught on the back of Matt again. Oh, here we go. As you hear rumbling over curbs, you see the wheels vibrating. I don't know why I did a hand gesture there. You can't see me doing that. So, as Dan looks left to go past Duffin, does he get the cutback and the power down the back straight? You keep an eye on Clouden and Harris. Well, I'll keep an eye on this on the broadcast.
No worries.
As Dan is all over. Look at Matt defend the inside line heavily into the hairpin. Does Dan get around the outside? He does not. Does he get down the power? For climb up the hill where you need a little bit more horsepower, then it's downhill. This is what we've been waiting for. As Matt defends the inside line again, does Dan make a late move? I believe Dan's flashing his headlights at Matt. Not like that, I put Matt off. Matt's well known for flashing his headlights.
Yeah, he loves to flash.
As he defends the line through here, well, we saw Beasley make a brilliant pass here earlier in the race. So much has happened this race.
Harris has got past Clouden for the lead coming out of the last corner. Clouden got on the curb a little bit and unsettled the car.
Yep, so will Harris now pull away from Clouden? I will just quickly jump back to the Davis-Duffin fight. Or the Duffin-Duffers...
I think Clouden's car has just got away from him towards the end of the race.
His tyres might be ballooning more than Harris's. As Matt still defends from Davis Can he hold on for another 6 minutes?
Clouden is trying to find any way past he can.
Beasley fastest lap.
It's just not.
Let's see how hard Matt defends down the inside. Oh, Dan tried to pull a dummy. No, not yet, Dan. But does he get better drive at the hairpin again? As he stuffs in the power. Matt can't move over because Dan is there. Will Dan make the pass into the... No, he doesn't. He thinks better of it. There's 2 cars off, 17 and 777 if you look at the top screen. That's Gray and Beasley. I don't know what happened there, but we will... If you keep an eye on that...
I have a feeling Beasley's gone to overtake Gray and it's just...
The door's been shut, yeah?
Yeah.
Right, but I'm keeping an eye on this battle between the 2... Well, you're the only other person with a fair few championships, aren't you? But mostly side championships, like GT4. Porsche Super Cup.
Touring cars and Project Cars 2.
Touring cars, Project Cars 2. Who won the Clios?
Dan.
Even though he ran out of fuel. Was it Dan or was it...
Oh, actually, I think that was Falguest.
I think it was. Dan's on the outside, going into turn 1. Does he get the clearance past Matt? Oh, this has got to be close into turn 1. Oh, no contact made, but Dan was round up. Dan spun around and hit. Oh, he's hit Matt. Oh, no, not again.
There will be handbags thrown.
They're probably in the same party together as well. And, oh, I think Dan lost it on the very wet part on the outside of the circuit. And the car just looped and he then speared into Matt. But let's put Gary and Hoffer back in. And there we are. I think that's what happened there. To be honest, Dan just lost it on the wet, on the lot wet. I think you're now wearing your it's now damp. You're wearing your wets out, aren't you? So
yeah, you ain't gonna have an answer for
no.
That so.
And plus lighting up the tires to get the car
Harris
back
is trying to find any wet line he can to keep that car calm, cool, and collected, and it's just not working.
Yeah, you can see the dry patches now, can't you? Looking at that. Cloudon's car's moving quite a lot, so his tyres are getting a bit toasty. Meanwhile, in the Legion
I think Cloudon's just... I mean, Michael Harris is going to set another fastest lap, as I say that his tyres are starting to overheat.
Yeah.
So, I might as well just keep my mouth shut at this point, because...
Bono, my tyres are gone. Fastest lap of the race. There you go. Channel in a Lewis
Bob's
Hamilton.
your uncle.
Oh, Hoffer had a slide coming out the final corner behind Gary. He was full.
Cloudon's just not had an answer.
No,
as soon as the pit stops came into play, Cloudon just did not have an answer to Harris at all. Harris has got that BMW.
Here we go again. We got Duffin versus... They're hunting for wet patches all over, defending lines. It's... Oh, the door was open there and Dan's going for it.
If Dan sees it, he's going for it.
Well, if you're no longer go for a lap, you're no longer a racing driver, as Ayrton Senna once said a long time ago. I remember him saying it as well.
Cloudon just has not had an answer.
No.
He gets onto the rear end of Harris through the last couple of corners, but after that, he's got nothing.
No, as we're nearly in the final 2 minutes and the track is now greasy, so now you would want to actually be on the dries.
Yeah, you would want to be on overpressured dries.
Yeah, so they got the heat when you go on the moister parts of the circuit. But look at that dry line there, gone up the hill under the Red Bull dry.
There's basically no wet patches left.
No, this circuit's pretty much nearly there. It's normal English country road, isn't it now? It looks dry, but there's a few puddles about.
Yeah, I mean,
Cloudon's back on. Cloudon's back on Harris.
Sort of tires.
Look, but oh, where do I look? Davis is having another look down the inside.
Cloudon is back onto the rear wing of
Harris,
Harris. Mate, honestly, my brain is fried.
Apparently soon we will be able to talk to the Xbox users. There's an update coming of PS5 which allows Discord to join Discord chats from the console. And Xbox has had that for a while. Oh, Coin's gone back out on circuit. Alex has parked it, but I do believe he did over 75% of the race. I'll have to talk to people.
Go, Harrison Clouden coming across the line to start the final lap of the race. Clouden
Yep.
can't seem to find a way through on Harris at all. You got Dan and Matt fighting for the last podium position, but Harris, ow.
As you hit your headset.
Yep, I hit my head.
Don't do that. Meanwhile, we're going to have to concentrate on the battle for the lead, because that's the one that will determine this.
That's the most important one.
As Clouden has a little looking. Oh, that was so close. Get the anchor out of throw it out of the side of the car. Gone, please stop. Gray is facing the wrong way again.
Dennis Newman got disqualified.
Yeah.
That's a shame for him. You got insert coin 21 laps down. Alex Powell, did he retire?
I think he's done more than 75%. So it
He's
won't
only
be
9 laps behind, but that's not like Alex Powell to retire.
No. I know you can lose motivation. Great camera angle as we come into the final few corners. Harris from Clouden.
This is where Clouden seems to have the legs over Harris coming into these last 2 corners, but I don't think he's going to have enough to get past him. I could be very wrong because he is a lot closer than he normally is.
Harris.
But Harris coming around the final couple of corners to take, I believe.
Oh, that looked like it was sideways. It was. Clouden is Clouden in front. No, Clouden. Clouden wins the race, but he's turned across the front of Harris there.
I think Harris gave
Dan's in front of Matt
a bit of a tap.
Yeah, I do.
That was a hell of a finish from those two. Honestly, that was a battle till the end.
That may have to be looked at in the stewards. As Dan has got in front of Matt on the final lap to get the final position on the podium.
I wonder if we'll get to talk with Dan.
Should do. Matt probably jump in as well. Clouden might do. We can't talk to Harris yet because the update isn't live
Is
yet.
he Xbox?
He's Xbox.
But yeah, you've got Matt and Dan coming across the line to finish P4 and 5. You've got Gary finishing P5, so that's decent points for Jaeger Motorsport.
Hoffer in P6.
Hoffer in the M6 for the P6 for the M6. You know,
Nikita comes home in 7th. Mike
Matthews coming across the line to finish in P8. You got Kieran O'Reilly who just crossed the line in P14. Ian Gray in P13, and Casina and Beasley for 12 and 11th.
Yeah, and Gary
Burton comes across the line to finish P9, and GT Jimbo comes across the line to finish P10, and someone's just left the lobby.
So yeah, Alex has left the lobby, but I will bring up the results while I can. Here are the results. Everyone's crossed the line, hopefully. But it now messes up the results, so we're not going to get them properly. People, do not leave the lobby until we've got the results. It is in the rules. So yeah, that's the results. I think we
cannot stress it enough, guys. Please, 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 do not leave the lobby until
I think it was Alex
has finished.
And here we go. That's the results in the corner there.
There we go.
Hopefully, I've got enough time to bring them up on the main screen. So that's our results. Clouden from Harris, but controversial. Dan Davis got P3, Duffin P4, Leach P5, Hoffer P6. Great drive by Hoffer. Great day for Nikita as well in P7. Mike Matthews P9, Burton P8. I mean P9 is Burton. Just Jimbo in GT Jimbo. Just Jimbo was the F1 in P10. 11th is Beasley, 12th is Pacina, 13th Gray, 14th O'Reilly, Alex Powell 15th. Coyne 16th, Dennis Newman DQ'd because he didn't serve his stop-go. And we're joined in the comms box by our third place finisher, Dan Davis. Dan, that was a bit of fun, wasn't it?
Green light. Give it
Yeah,
all you can.
definitely not what we were actually expecting. We wasn't expecting that much rain, to be honest. But hey ho, that's racing. Yeah, to be honest, I can't really complain. I finished the night with a 4th and a 3rd, so I can't really complain. But I feel like I should have done better, but hey, that's racing. It comes down to I had a good little scrap with Matt at the end there. Yeah, it was just one of those nights. I never do quite well at the Red Bull Ring. I've always struggled here, but Cloudon's got pace, and he really showed it tonight. And I've got a lot of work to do when we go back to Brands.
And back to the British tracks, which are guaranteed to do well at. Let's face
Not
it.
guaranteed. Not guaranteed.
But then
I
again,
mean,
though,
in this series, anything can happen. You can be, 0 to 0 in just a matter of weeks. It's like tonight I made 2 silly errors that were both my fault, and it's just, it happens. I am human at times, and I do make mistakes. And Cloudin did the right thing tonight. He capitalised on it and scored the points that he needed to. And yeah, that's just, Brands is a circuit that I have done traditionally quite well at. But again, it's on a week-on-week basis. You don't know what's going to happen, So it is what it is.
yeah, well, yeah, also a cracking battle between you and Matt for final phases of that race.
I mean, yeah, me and Matt in the past have always had our differences.
Interesting battles.
But yeah, we've had interesting battles, and another one here tonight. I mean, I can't fault him Matt tonight. He made a little mistake. I've made a little mistake. It was just tit for tat, but it was fine. I enjoyed it. It was great fun. He's a bit beaten, but I keep telling him it was a great scrap. It was a great fight. I mean, he'd be proud of it because it's not often that me and him are able to go wheel to wheel that close and survive. So no, it's been a great little scrap with Matt, and hopefully more later on this season.
Yeah, well, a great battle. We had that to watch, and Harris and Cloudon battle to watch 30 seconds down the road from you. So
Yeah, I was a bit jealous of their fight as well. If I hadn't dropped it on the curb early part of the race, then I might have been. I say curb, I touched the grass, and the grass has no grip. So yeah, it would have been nice to give him a fight, but it didn't happen. But congratulations to Cloudin on the first win this season, and he deserved that one. He definitely had the raw pace tonight, and like I said, work to do for Brands.
yeah, cheers, Dan. We'll now move over to our race winner, Jamal Cloudon. Cloudon, that was a interesting race for you as well, wasn't it?
Just a tad. I mean, I didn't know how the race was going to turn out because I'm not that great in the wet, but for some reason my talent just decides to come out. I started to struggle towards the end of the race, started to lose grip, tires started to get really hot. Harris, he was just pressure throughout the whole race. Literally, he was just keeping me on my toes. I lost it, I made a mistake, and yeah, the BM just decided to just come into play, really, and just show its form. It was a shame that he made a mistake on the final corner, but hey-ho, that's racing.
Yeah, it did look a bit touchy at the end of looking back at the camera angles here at Red Bull Ring were not brilliant, to be honest. Some of them were a bit far away, so you couldn't really see what was happening.
Yeah, it's one of those things. I mean, you're not gonna catch everything, because again, there's going to be constantly battles up and down the grid. I mean, as you just said, Matt and Dan had a tasty battle, while me and Harris were having a tasty battle and stuff. So yeah, again, it's not going to catch everything.
Yeah, well, apparently Harris was just saying his left rear tyre was hot at the end of that.
I can definitely agree with him on that one. Mine was literally red hot, and then I'd thought, do you know what, it was just quali mode, and I just thought, right, I'm just going to use all of my tyres, and I saw they started to struggle, and yeah, I just capitalised on it. So yeah, it is what it is. But again, shout out to Harris. Honestly, if he didn't make that mistake, he would have won that, and he deserved the win as well. So yeah, shout out to Harris for keeping him on my toes, man.
Yeah, right. Well, Brands Hatch next. Thoughts for the second British circuit we visit this season?
Brands Hatch, I'm hit and miss. I do like the circuit. It's got a nice flow to it. There are some corners that do catch you out, but again, we'll see on the day. Again, it depends on the weather as well. So yeah, we'll see what happens next week.
Yeah, cheers, Loudon. Joe, driver of the day.
I've got to go Harris. He had 2 stellar races. I mean, he proved that he's got the pace. He's got that BMW hooked up, an absolute treat. And yeah, I mean, there's just nothing more I can say. He was absolutely stellar tonight.
Yeah, I've got to go Harris as well. Shout out to Nikita winning race 1 and being P7 in race 2. So, and yeah, it's Harris today because he was solid for both races, wasn't he? So, yeah, anyway, right. Cheers all for watching. Make sure you check out Dan Davis and Mathew Duffin in the comms box on Wednesday night for Pro-Am, where we go to Brands Hatch. Yeah, I'll let Dan do this because he's much better than me.
If you hit that like button and subscribe to the channel and hit the bell to be notified. Also, while you're there in the description, have a look at our fantastic sponsors of Audio Sports and Design Manchester as well. Give them a like and follow on all their social medias. That is it for Red Bull Ring this week. Make sure you tune in next week as we will be live back in Great Britain on the British roller coaster at Brands Hatch for the Pro-Ams on the Wednesday night, and on Thursday night will be the Pros. And from what I've gathered, there is more weather lurking around, good old British weather. We're currently in the middle of a storm at the minute. But make sure you tune in next week as we will have all this fantastic action. And make sure the Pro-Ams will be live from 8 p.m. UK time on Wednesday. But from all of us here at SimPlay Motorsport, it is good night from myself, and I'll leave it back to these boys.
It's good night from me, and I believe it's good night from Fury. So, good night, everyone.
Good night, everybody.
And we'll see you next week. Bye-bye.